Hi there, inline skaters. Thanks a lot for tuning in. In this video, I will go through a bunch of things that you can do to make it feel more safe to be on inline skates, especially if you're new to the sport. These tips and tricks are really going to make it a smoother entrance into the world of inline skating, which is a wonderful world. Thank you for watching, and let's get to it. My name is Viktor Thorup. I'm a professional Olympic speed skater on ice, and I do inline skating just about every single day since the age of 5. So I consider myself an expert. That is also why I made a bunch of training programs that you'll find in the description below. Whether you're an experienced skater or brand new to the sport, I can help you get better and faster in quite little time. So check that out. For this video, we are gonna look at all the things that you can do to make it easier and more safe to get better at skating. First off is really about your position. There's some things that feel a little more uncomfortable and feel unsafe, but in fact, they're the opposite. Trust me on this. First off is going to be the basic position. If you have a stable basic position, you'll be able to move your weight around and you'll be able to catch anything that could have turned out to be a crash, but if you got that position on point, well, it's not going to be so. So the basic position is really about getting deeper. Let me just flip the camera here and show you what I mean by that. Classic thing is you're in your skating position, you're skating like that, something happens, you see something you didn't expect, somebody crashes in front of you, there might be something rough, a stone, a rock on the ground, and the usual thing that you do off pure reaction is that you're gonna like try and go up, because that just feels natural. I mean, we're standing like this when we're not doing anything. But on skates, it is super important that you stay down here, because this really allows you to catch things to the side, go forward, backwards. You have much more mobility, and even though it doesn't feel like it, you have a lot more stability in a low position. Able to catch things. I mean, if your knees are already, or your legs are in this position, you'd be able to jump off things, jump around things. Unlike if you're up here, well, it's a lot easier to stumble, fall forward, fall backwards, fall to the sides. So no matter what your instinct tells you, get in a good low position. Also, it's gonna make you a better skater, which is another plus. So try and stay down here, stay round, stay a little compact, and skating is just going to be easier. While we're at the position, another thing that you should think about when you find your skating position is to have your center of gravity in the middle of your skates. So play around with that. If you feel like you're too far on the toes, it's probably not a good thing. If you feel like you're a little too far backwards, it's also not going to work out for you. Same goes with being on the inside or the outside of the inline skate edge. Try and be on top of it. So your knee shouldn't cave in, shouldn't go out. Same goes from the side. You shouldn't be standing like this, shouldn't be like this. Because again, this is just gonna make you more stable. So whenever a tiny rock or stone comes across your skates, you're not just immediately gonna fall forwards or backwards because you're right in the middle. So that way it allows you a little more of a play field to play around with things when it gets unstable or if you begin to lose control. The next thing you can try and work with is your equipment. Two things is going to make a huge difference on how stable and how comfortable you feel in your inlines. And this goes for beginners as well as trained skaters. Bigger wheels are just going to make you more unstable. The reason for this is obviously a big wheel is going to lift you further off the ground, and the further off the ground you are, the less stable you're going to be and the more wobbly your angles are going to be and the harder it is to stay stable on top of your skates. So especially if you're a new skater, even though it might be tempting because bigger wheels can go faster, there's more roll, well, ease into it, because if you mess up your technique, if you lose the joy of skating because you're simply too scared of being on your wheels, well, then it's not going to be worth it. So start out with some tinier wheels. Doesn't mean you would have to put 80 millimeters on, but I always suggest new skaters or skaters that are still improving technically to not go beyond 100 or 110 millimeters at first. And the other point about the wheels, the more wheels, the better. Because the more wheels you have, the more contact points you have with the ground. So if you're a new skater, if you're hesitating and trying to figure out if you should buy 3-wheel skates or 4-wheel skates, well then I would suggest you to go with 4 wheels for a first. More contact point means it's easier to steer around, it's easier to change the direction of your skates, and also in most cases it's going to be a longer frame, which means you have a little more width span and a little more resistance if you're yielding a bit forwards or backwards on your skate. So 4 wheels and smaller wheels is really what I suggest most people as they enter the sport of skating. now that we got those two things on point, the position, how to skate, and the equipment, which wheels to wear, third and final thing that can make it easier to get into skating and to get better at skating is finding a good place, a good location. First thing that I really consider when picking the right location is going to be smooth surface. Find somewhere nice, find new pavement, new asphalt, anything that's not going to be too slippery, anything without rocks or big holes is going to make it easier to skate well, and it's also going to make you more relaxed knowing that the road is with you. It's safer. Speaking of safer, find something with no cars, no bicycles. If you can find a private place where you're still allowed to go, that would be ideal. Of course, if you've got a skating rink or skating track, that would be great. But most of us do not have that luxury, at least not nearby where we're based. But try and find somewhere where there's not too many people, not too many cars, and still a good surface. If you can find a circuit, that would be great, because then you can practice your crossovers so you also know how to turn and not just go straight. Before we get into all this, make sure you know how to brake. It's a crucial point, and a lot of people somehow, because it's more fun, learn to go fast before they learn to get slower. I made a video on that. You can check it out on my channel. There's going to be, I think, literally 200 videos about skating. So if you haven't watched those, I suggest you give it a view. I'll leave all the stickers on the screen so you can check that out. But before you check those out, then I just want to say thanks a lot for watching this. I love giving advice about skating. It's what I've been doing my entire life. It's how I built my career, and passing that on to the world of YouTube is pretty awesome. So thank you, and I'll just see you for the next video.